Bandang alas 11 ng umaga nitong July 7, lalong humigpit ang seguridad sa Senado. Kumalat kasi ang balita na dadating sa araw na yon si Vice President Sara Duterte. Ang media nag-abang. Maya-maya pa, nagkumpulan na ang lahat nung pumasok sa Senate building si Vice President Duterte. Humarap siya sa media.
Ano na? Just one sentence and then no questions. Yeah, I know. Sadly, no?
Sa halip, nag-iwan ng napakaikli pero makahulugan na pahayag.
In this bloodbath and bludgeoning, I will be blooded but unbowed. Maraming salamat.
Agad siyang tumayo at pumasok sa holding room ng defense team o ng kanyang mga abogado. Ang pahayag ng Vice-Presidente patungkol sa kasalukuyan niyang hinaharap na hamon sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon kasi sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas, isang nakaupong Vice-Presidente ang sasailalim sa impeachment trial.
Case number 004-2026.
In the matter of impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte.
Ang prosecution team o ang mga mang-uusig sa kanya, mariing naniniwala na dapat siyang mapanagot sa mga kinasasangkutan niyang kaso.
That public office is a public trust and public officials must be accountable to the people at all times.
Pero ang mga abogadong magtatanggol o didepensa sa Vice-Presidente o ang kanyang defense team, nanindigang hindi siya dapat mapatalsik sa pwesto.
Pagdating sa mga aligasyon na to, kung sinong nagsasabing may ginawa kang mali, siya talaga dapat ang magpatunay. Or else, we'll live in a society where anyone and everyone can just say, uy, nagnakaw ka without any iota of evidence.
Day 1 ng impeachment trial para kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Nagsimula na po ang proseso noong May 13 nung nanumpa bilang mga senator judge ang mga senador. Pero ngayon pa lang ho mag-uumpisa ang trial proper.
Finally, it's happening. For 2 years na hindi natuloy, we have the wheels of accountability now running.
Kamusta po confidence level ng defense side?
Kung ako tatanungin mo, walang kaso. It's a numbers game. Most of them will be deciding on the basis of their political future.
4 pong articles of impeachment o mga kaso ang iniharap laban sa kanya. Una, maling paggamit di umano sa kanyang confidential funds na 600 million pesos plus. Number 2, yung mali rin daw pong paggamit niya ng pondo ng Department of Education nung siya po ay secretary ng DepEd. Pangatlo, yung di umano hindi maipaliwanag niyang yaman batay sa kanyang SALN o Statement of Assets, Liabilities and Net Worth. At pang-apat, pagbabanta di umano sa buhay ni Pangulong Marcos at ng kanyang pamilya. Para po sa mga liliti sa kanya, ito ay issue ng accountability. Pero para naman po sa kampo ng Vice-Presidente, malinaw daw na ito ay pagpigil sa kanyang pagtakbo sa 2028.
The impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte is hereby called to order.
Mangyayari ang impeachment trial na 21 lang sa 24 na senators ang uupong senator judge. Dahil po si Senator De La Rosa ay nagtatago, si Senator Jinggoy Estrada ay nakakulong para sa kasong plunder. At ngayong araw lang din pong ito, July 6, Lunes, inaresto si Senator Marcoleta. Sa huli, sila ang mga boboto kung mako-convict o hahatulang guilty ang nasasakdal o maa-acquit o papawalang sala ito.
On the issue of who shall preside.
Pero bago pa man magsimula ang trial o paglilitis, nagkainitan na agad ang mga senador sa pagpili ng kanilang presiding officer. Sa impeachment trial ni President Estrada, ang umupong presiding officer, ang Chief Justice noon na si Chief Justice Hilario Davide. Ang kay Chief Justice Corona naman, ang Senate President noon na si Senator Juan Ponce Enrile. Pero Pero dahil hindi abogado ang kasalukuyang Senate President na si Win Gatchalian, naging matunog ang pangalan ng dating Senate President at isa ring abogado na si Senator Cheese Escudero.
Those who are in favor, please raise your hand.
Nagbotohan ang mga senador at ang pinili ng karamihan sa kanila si Escudero. Magsisilbing prosecution lawyers o panel katumbas ng piskal sa mga korte ang mga congressmen sa pangunguna ni Congresswoman Jervil Luistro at 10 iba pang mga kongresista at 15 private prosecutors o mga abogado.
Ang prosekusyon ay naniniwala at naninindigan. Ang tiwalang ipinagkaloob ay nilabag at ang konstitusyon mismo ang humihingi ng pananagutan.
Ang didepensa naman sa Vice Presidente, 16 na defense counsels o private lawyers sa pangunguna ni Attorney Sheila Sison.
Ang malinaw na layunin sa likod ng mga paratang na ito ay ang pagpapatalsik sa isang Vice Presidenteng inihalal ng mahigit 32 milyong Pilipino at bunga ng kanilang malayang pagpapasya.
Hindi dumalo sa pagbubukas ng trial ang Vice Presidente. Kaya sa pangalawang araw, nagulat ang lahat nang bigla itong sumipot sa 4 na mga kaso o articles of impeachment na kinakaharap ng Vice Presidente. Inuna ang ginawa raw nitong pagbabanta laban kay President Bongbong Marcos, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos at dating House Speaker Martin Romualdez.
May kinausap na ako na tao. Sinabi ko sa kanya, kapag pinatay ako, patayin mo si BBM, si Liza Araneta, at si Martin Romualdez. No joke. No joke.
Iprinisin pa ang video kung saan maririnig ang pagbabanta di umano ng Vice Presidente sa isang online media conference November 23, 2024 matapos ipag-utos ng Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability ng Kongreso ang pagkulong sa Chief of Staff niya na si Attorney Zulaika Lopez, tumestigo laban kay Duterte, si NBI Senior Agent John Mark Calilong na nag-imbestiga raw sa video ng dimanoy pagbabanta. Na-interview ko ang mamumuno sa panel of prosecutors, si Congresswoman Jervil Luistro ng Batangas.
Kamusta na ho kayo? This is day 3 of the impeachment trial this week. We are very positive sapagkat for day 1 and day 2, we were able to achieve our goals. We are very much focused and hopeful that we will be able to present very well every piece of evidence that we have. How do you size up the defense counsel? I know that they are litigation lawyers, that they have vast experience in court litigation. Kung ano man yung kakulangan namin about litigation experience, I wish to believe na ito namang impeachment trial na ito ay hindi purely legal proceeding. Ano ho bang narrative na gusto nyong i-paint of the Vice President? Well, this should be the story of a Vice President who must be facing accountability. So what happens kung ayaw mong mag-appear o pumunta rito ni Vice President? Prerogative niya po actually yan. Pero I wish to express as well, public office does not grant immunity against accountability. The public office is a public trust and public officials must be accountable to the people at all times. Sa Article 4, I understand, nagbigay na ho sila ng side nila na this is part of her freedom of expression. There is freedom of expression except when what she's expressing already constitute a crime.
92 trial dates ang nakatakda. Kung kukwentahin sa 3 trial dates kada linggo, maaari itong umabot ng mahigit 7 buwan. Ang pangalawang kaso o article of impeachment na tatalakayin ang di umano maling paggamit ng Vice Presidente sa kanyang confidential funds.
Bakit siya inuusig on her confidential funds? Confidential nga ho yun. Bakit siya lang? Bakit naging selective? Sa Office of the President, 14 billion daw po yung confidential funds. To begin with, Jessica, there's no such thing as exemption from audit. This is part of public fund. At basta public funds, subject siya sa audit. Now, to your question, bakit siya lang? First of all, impeachable official siya. We cannot investigate those na wala namang complaint.
Yung kanya pong defense counsels during their opening statement mentioned na nakakuha sila ng favorable findings from the Commission on Audit for the Office of the Vice President.
It only pertains to the completeness of the documents that needs to be submitted, but it does not necessarily mean that there is no irregularity in the disbursement and liquidation of public funds.
Isa pang kaso o article of impeachment ang hindi di umano maipaliwanag na yaman ng vice-presidente at ng kanyang mister.
Ang sabi sa batas, if a public official would acquire property or money which is manifestly disproportionate to the lawful income, there is a presumption prima facie of ill-gotten wealth.
Yun ba yung nakita ninyo?
I do not want to comment about the SALN. Medyo nag-iingat tayo, parang I'm crossing the border already.
Nakapanayam ko rin ang tagapagsalita at isa sa mga defense lawyers ng vice-presidente, si Attorney Michael Poa. Kahapon nandito po si Vice President Duterte and everyone was surprised. What was the intention of her visit po?
She wanted to thank the defense team for all the work that we've been doing, so she could only accommodate us for about an hour.
Kasi may mga nagsasabi that that was strategy to make her presence felt.
No, but I can understand where that's coming from kasi marami rin po nagtatanong bakit sa Senado, bakit hindi sa labas, hindi ba? But the problem is we had a trial too, and si VP, when she wants to really meet with someone in person, she is very considerate pagdating sa convenience ng kausap niya.
In this bloodbath and bludgeoning, I will be blooded but unbowed.
Bakit yung statement niya one line lang?
Nako, hindi ko alam, no? But that statement really came from her. As to questions, we have to caution her on speaking on the merit. Under the rules of impeachment, hindi kami pwede mag-discuss, ipahayag yung aming mga merits ng aming mga kaso in public.
Kaso may mga pumupuna na parang inspired daw po yun ng isang tula.
She has always been consistent with being unbowed. Ang parating inaakala po ng bloodbath is magkakaroon ng away, matinding gera dito sa loob ng courtroom when all she meant was that it would be her blood spill kasi siya yung i-crucify, siya yung iba-bludgeon kasi siya yung nagiging subject ng impeachment.
It would be interesting para malaman kung paano niya tinitake yung lahat ng lumalabas sa impeachment trial so far.
Unbothered, I would say. She's always felt that everything is destiny. So if she is convicted, then maybe that's her destiny. If she is to be acquitted, that's her destiny.
Pupunta ho ba siya rito sa impeachment court?
She's never said na hindi siya pupunta, no? But ang parati namin sinasabi is kung kinakailangan, we will advise her to do so.
The rule of law that does justice is our lodestar. And that justice includes accountability. Justice includes fairness. Without fairness, there is abuse.
She said that if this is all about accountability, then kayo rin daw po sa prosecution panel should also be held accountable. Lalo na po in your case, you're a government official.
I understand that we were included in the issue alleged by the ex-18 bodyguards, no? We are willing to face whatever investigation is that, but we have to make a distinction. We are non-impeachable.
Regardless of the technicality, Congresswoman, let's remove the impeachable and the non-impeachable classification. The bottom line issue here is, can you also account for your position or
Ako, I can.
whatever?
I can.
You
As a
can.
matter of fact, I wish to take advantage of this opportunity to deny vehemently again the accusation against me by the ex-18 bodyguards.
Na
And
nakatanggap daw ho kayo ng mga
Yes,
maleta ng
yes.
pera.
I vehemently deny that, and I understand my colleagues from the House also denied that allegation.
Kayo ho ba, wala kayong unexplained wealth din? Wala kayong flood control projects?
Wala po.
kayong pork barrel? Wala
I can
kayong
honestly
corruption
say-
in your record?
I can honestly say na lahat po ng public funds ay hindi naman dumadaan sa House, that the power of the House is to legislate.
People on the streets and in their homes are asking, bakit itong usapin ng korupsyon nabaling sa Senado? May nakulong na 2 senador. Sa lower house, sa House of Representatives, kung saan di umano, nandun yung mga mastermind, Zaldico and the former speaker, bakit walang nakulong doon? And bakit sila ang nang-uusig pa ngayon na parang kayo ang may moral high ground para mang-usig when it comes to corruption against the Vice President?
Ang ombudsman ang nag-iimbestiga dyan. For those investigation pertaining to the House members, I wish to believe na baka kulang pa ang ebidensya, reason kung bakit hindi ma-file ni ombudsman.
Si Vice President Duterte ang kauna-unahang opisyal ng gobyerno na 2 beses na impeached ng Kongreso. Pebrero nitong taon, isinumite ang 4 na mga kaso laban sa kanya. 2 sa mga ito nakapasa sa Justice Committee ng Kongreso na naging hudyat din ng pagsisimula ng kanyang impeachment proceedings. Bakit siya dapat matanggal o ma-impeach sa inyong palagay?
We maintain that our evidence is strong. What is frustrating, simula pa noong 2024 hanggang sa oras na ito, Jessica, walang maliwanag na sagot sa mga allegation of offenses.
Of course, that's their position, and I respect whoever says it's a non-answer. That's their opinion, no? But sa atin, sumagot po tayo because ang posisyon naman namin noong mga panahon na yon ay yung mga complaint, wala naman pong naka-attach na ebidensya.
Matagal naman ng issue to, yung pananakot daw niya kay President Marcos, First Lady, the former Speaker. Nasagot din ho ba niya yun sufficiently, given na may video as evidence na ang strong po ng dating?
I cannot disclose our arguments on the merits of the case. Basically, kailangan mapakita sa tao yung buong context ng nangyari.
Just one sentence, and then no questions. Yeah, I know. Sadly, no?
Matipid yung mga sagot niya, and now that we're in the middle of this, parang pumunta siya dito sa Senado, she could have used the opportunity to explain her position. How do you explain that?
Because there's always a proper time and a proper place, no, to answer these allegations. For one, ang daming lumalabas na aligasyon, wala namang ebidensya. So bakit mo papatulan yung mga ganung criticism? We do not litigate our cases in the court of public opinion, no?
But she's the Vice President.
She's the Vice President, but when there are issues on confidential funds, and confidential funds, as we know, are intertwined with national security, you cannot just blurt these things out in public, di ba?
And I asked si Congresswoman Luistro, what is the narrative that they're trying to paint of the Vice President? And, you know, she came on very strongly to say na she does not deserve to stay in office, she's impeachable, etc. Anong maisasagot niyo ho doon?
Walang basihan yung mga aligasyon na yan. Hindi nararapat na maialis sa pwesto ang ating Vice Presidente dahil wala naman siyang ginawang impeachable.
The burden of proof never shifts. He who accuses must prove his allegations.
Sa opening statement ng inyong lead counsel, being the Vice President and the second highest official of the land, kahit walang burden of proof, if I may say, she has the burden of responsibility and the burden of her office, which is the second highest position nga po in the country. Ano hong masasabi niyo?
You're right, no? She has the burden of responsibility. Pagdating naman sa mandato niya bilang Vice Presidente, she has always, been committed to fulfilling her mandate. Now, pagdating sa mga aligasyon na to, syempre, kung sinong nagsasabing may ginawa kang mali, siya talaga dapat ang magpatunay. Or else, we'll live in a society where anyone and everyone can just say, uy, nagnakaw ka without any iota of evidence. Ngayon, kung may mapakita naman sila na ebidensya, kaya naman kami nandito para depensahan siya. We're confident that we will be able to show the Filipino people that maybe these allegations are because of something else rather than the truth that she did something wrong.
That they don't want her to run in 2028?
Well, that's always been a question that everyone's been asking. I don't want to get into the politics, no? But so sa atin, ang trabaho lang natin is to do our jobs as counsel. Now, what the motivations are behind the impeachment.
Option ho ba sa kanya ang resignation?
We've never spoken about it. The Vice President feels strongly about the 32 million people who voted for her, no? And she's not about to turn her back on these people.
Paano ho kung magre-resign si Vice President Duterte?
There are 2 penalties mentioned in the Constitution, that is removal and perpetual disqualification. from holding any public office. So sa akin lang, if the Vice President will resign, it will render moot the penalty of removal. But the trial must continue, the presentation of evidence must continue to give opportunity to the senator judges to decide whether or not the penalty of perpetual disqualification from public office will be imposed as well.
Sa saligang batas natin, malinaw doon na ang impeachment ay para lamang sa pagtanggal sa pwesto at pagdiskwalipika sa sinaharap. Pero kinikilala niya doon na mayroon pang mga ibang bagay, mga kasong kriminal, gaya ng plunder o kasong sibil or kasong administratibo na maaring ma-file laban sa opisyal na ito sa hinaharap.
Your Honor, please, may I proceed with the next?
Mabusisi ang proseso.
That's why they're asking that it be marked again, which defeats the very purpose of our pre-trial.
Hinihimay bawat detalye at panay ang objection at pagtatalo ng prosecution at defense lawyers.
November 23, 2024. Objection, Your Honor. Well, I'm not yet done.
Well, Your Honor, the pauses of the prosecution are very confusing.
Kindly let the counsel for the prosecutors speak.
Pinaghalong English at Tagalog ang gamit ng mga abogado ng magkabilang panig.
What particular statements of the Vice President on that day did you investigate?
Objection, Your Honor. Vague.
Pero kadalasan, ang mga salitang ginagamit pang mga abogado, mahirap maintindihan ng ordinaryong mga mamamayan. Kaya ang tanong, interesado ba ang karamihan sa impeachment trial?
Magulo po. Hindi ko po alam kung sino po ang nagsasabi ng katotohanan o sino po yung may mali. Parang malalim po yung sa pinag-uusapan nila.
Siguro yung pagpapa-impeach nila, hindi na lang nila ginagawa kasi ngayon ang daming ang problema ng Pilipinas.
Kada 8 to 9 years, meron impeachment trial sa Pilipinas. So people are bound to ask, tama pa ba itong prosesong ito? Na parang kada mayat maya merong ini-impeach sa Pilipinas and then ang nang uusig mga politiko rin. So parang nagiging numbers game talaga siya.
Ako, I take it positively because it only means that accountability mechanism is working. It only means that constitution is still paramount. It only means that the voice of the sovereign Filipino people is still the loudest voice, perhaps. And as far as this republic is concerned.
Pagdating naman po sa fairness, pwede rin sigurong questionin. Paano magiging patas yung mga yan? Kampi-kampihan naman yung mga politikong yan.
As far as we are concerned, no, we were as impartial as possible when we were hearing this impeachment complaints during the proceeding of the Justice Committee. We are accountable also to the sovereign Filipino people.
Ang sabi ho, bata raw ho kayo ng former Speaker Romualdez. And the Speaker now is being suspected of masterminding ito pong biggest heist daw in Philippine history. Ano ho masasabi niyo roon?
I am grateful to former Speaker. Inalagaan niya ang distrito ko during his time. Inalagaan niya din ako bilang neophyte congresswoman. But that is separate from what is happening now. The gratitude that I have for the former Speaker, that is personal. As to what will happen pertaining to the investigation against him, that is part of accountability mechanism na sinasabi sa Constitution at kung ano man maging findings ng Ombudsman, we will respect that. This impeachment process is happening for the benefit not only of the present generation, but also of the generations to come, no? The voice of the people must always be supreme. Hindi po pwede na ang mga public official ay walang pananagutan. That public office is a public trust and public officials must be accountable to the people at all times.
We will try to be as objective as we can. We like to ask the patience of the public. I know, like, katulad ng mga tanong nyo na kailan sasagutin, ba't hindi pa sinasagot. Nandito na tayo sa impeachment, and the process is the prosecution will have to present their evidence first, and after they've presented all of their pieces of evidence, it will be the turn of the defense.
Sir President, you're allowed to explain para ma-convince mo nga yung iba.
Raise your hand. we will vote by raising of hands.
I think makaka-expect tayo in the next few days na mag-a-adjust din yung korte at yung mga panig, no? Kung paano nila ipapakita yung ebidensya. Siguro yung pangalawa natin kailangan bantayan din ay yung mga senador. Na ipakita nila na patas ang tingin nila sa kaso na ito. Mahalaga na makilahok yung mamamayan sa conversation na ito. Kinikilala natin na may cost yung impeachment in the sense na habang nagtatrial ang Senado, may mga bagay na mabibinbin talaga. Pero siguro kailangan din natin tignan yung long term nito. Mahalaga para sa isang ekonomiya at mahalaga para sa kahit anong lipunan na may pananagutan dito.
Sa isa sa mga kamakailan lang gulo na nangyari sa Senado, sinabi mismo ni Senate President Win Gatchalian na hindi bababa ng 25 million pesos ang gastos ng Senado kada araw. Inaasahang tataas pa yan ngayong may impeachment trial. Bahagi kasi ito ng mga proseso sa ating demokrasya. Pero tanong siya ng marami, sulit ba ito? At ang hangad, maging karapat-dapat ang magiging hatol ng kasaysayan.